here. What's good? What's happening? What's going on? Hey yo, today we about to get into this video, one of my favorite subjects, money and dividends and investing in stock dividends. So we got in this video a couple of brothers called Earn Your Leisure, and they talk that talk and walk they walk, and they do their thing. And they got my man on here, Wall Street Trapper, and they black brothers who's teaching people of color and anybody who's open to learning about money and how it works and the market. So let's check this video out and talk about it. Should be some good information on here for all y'all people that have not got into investing yet. But let's check this out, and it's one of the subjects that made me excited. So let's get into this video, okay? Let's do it.
So dividends, right? Because this is something that we haven't covered, and a lot of people have heard of dividends, but they don't fully understand what a dividend is. So, what is a dividend?
Yeah, you said that's one of the strategies you use.
Yeah,
right?
I love them.
Stocks with
them. So what happens is dividends are a portion of the profit that companies pay to people who are invested in a business, not the revenue, but the profit. So if I have a business that brings in $10,000 a month, and I profit $5,000 a month, then out of that $5,000, I'll take a percentage of that, which is called the dividend yield, and I'll pay it to my investors as a part of saying, hey, thank you for investing in my business.
Is it paid equally, or is it obviously depending on how many shares you have, you get more?
The dividend is the same. Yeah. So if I pay 50 cents a share, right, which is $2 a year, everybody gets that. Depending on how much you have, if you got 5, I have 10, he have 15, then we will all get a different amount. But the underlying asset value is the same.
So what are some top companies as far as dividends these days? What are they paying?
AT&T pays 6%.
6%.
That's major. Now, so this is the dope part. So we talk about real estate, right? The real estate aspect of the stock market, which is called real estate investment trust, which is
a REIT,
which is saying I can own Walmart as a business, and I can own the people who Walmart pay rent to, because they don't own the building, they just own the name. Like Amazon has a warehouse. I can own Amazon, and I can also own the warehouse who Amazon pays the rent to. REITs pay higher dividends. We talking 12%, 9%, 7%. So individual stocks, AT&T, Macy's, CenturyLink. Now that's a bad business, but they pay a high dividend. That's what's called a dividend trap. We're not going to get into that.
Are they dispersed quarterly? How are they dispersed?
So every business is different. So with the REITs, they come out, some of them pay monthly. And so remember I was telling you that I have businesses. One of my businesses is Apple Realty. They own 128 Sheratons and Hiltons and 200 and something Marriotts. They're not going out of business anytime soon. But they pay me, I think, at a 9% rate on their REITs, and they pay that.
So, y'all hear what the brother talking about. Not only do you own the business, and then the business, being that you're a shareholder, they'll pay you a piece of the profit. It's free money, man. All you got to do is invest in this company. Most likely, products that you buy on the normal, anywhere from Nike, like he said, AT&T. How many people deal with cable AT&T products? They pay you a high dividend yield, and they pay quarterly. I'm investing in that company as well, and it's free money, and it compounds, and you invest in it, and every time they pay you, you just let it reinvest back into your stock, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and over time, man, it just turns into something great. It's called, the compound effect, snowball effect. As you roll a snowball down the hill, bigger and bigger and bigger, man. This stuff is powerful. So I hate the people that's missing out on it.
Monthly. So every month they're paying me.
So that's 9% on the money that you have invested.
No, that's 9% of the stock price.
Okay.
Right. So that's all a dividend yield is. So a dividend yield is this. If the stock price is $100 and a dividend yield is 5%, then your dividend is 5% of that $100.
Okay.
That's what you're getting paid.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Mm-hmm. It's passive.
Super passive.
Passive. But you do have to have large amounts for it to.
This is true.
But you were saying that you have to start looking at it like, okay, this will pay my cell phone bill.
Yeah.
What's your freedom price?
Can you explain that?
You talked about AT&T, but you got to create AT&T store.
So what happened to me was I started asking myself, how do I buy back my freedom? Right? Like, how do I buy it back?
That's powerful.
Right? Because it's not given to you. Just like, chattel slavery. Like, I'm not going to give it to you. You got to buy it back. You got to fight for it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, how do I buy back my freedom? With the stock market. Because you can't save to invest to get it back. Right? We know that. You can't work a bunch of hours to get it back. So the next best thing for me was dividends. So I was like, okay, what do I use every day? My phone bill, AT&T, and I have an Apple product. So because AT&T pays a 5%, 6% dividend yield, I was like, okay, I need this many shares of this business to pay off my phone bill every 4 months, because AT&T pays quarterly, which is every 3 months. Mm-hmm. Disney pays semi-annually, which is twice a year. And then you have some businesses that pay every month, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, if I can get AT&T to pay my phone bill through their dividends 4 times a year, then I have essentially bought back my freedom, because I no longer have to work to pay for that phone bill. AT&T paying it for me. And so you can do that with if you're in Georgia, you can use Southern Company, which is another great dividend business. How much is your phone bill? I mean, your light bill, $80, $100. They pay like a 3-4% dividend. Figure out how much the dividend is per quarter, how many shares you need of that business, and then let that pay your light bill. So if you can use your dividends from a business to pay your light bill and your phone bill, you've bought back some of your freedom. Because now you can take that money and invest it and do something else with it.
Do y'all get what he's saying? Like, yeah, you got to invest a little bit of money into the stock or ETF, which is an exchange traded fund, or the REIT, as he was saying, the real estate investment trust. And yeah, the more you put in, the more you get out of it. And again, that money, when you get those profits from that company, you just put it right back into that stock and let it grow, and it'll start eventually being able to buy you more shares of that stock. And I mean, in essence, you're looking at it long term, because this is what I'm aiming for like my retirement, when I'm down the line on top of Social Security and whatever wealth I have accumulated. But yeah, man, it will be huge. I mean, I'm already seeing it since I started investing and learned about dividend stocks. But like, it's free money, man. And I don't know who you are, but you cannot have enough when you get to that age, and you want to be able to take care of your family and build generational wealth and be able to pass it down to your kids. So this stuff is powerful. So I hope y'all own it.
Absolutely.
That's optimizing your money. The money is just a tool. We know that much. So if we can use the tool to do what it's supposed to do, then we get maximum value for it.
And that's so once you fully understand investing, you start to understand that it's like Spanish, right? So I don't know how many Spanish people in New Orleans, but
We got a few.
half of like 70% of New York is Spanish. Maybe not. 50%.
Okay.
50% of
New
New
York
York.
City.
Yeah, 50% of New York is
Spanish
Spanish.
speaking. It's a lot.
So I say that to say, when you're around Spanish enough, you start to understand it a little bit better. Maybe you might not be able to speak it, but you can kind of have a general understanding of it, right? the same thing with investing. When you're around the language of investing, it starts to make sense, and you realize that they're all kind of similar. It's just like actually when you learn foreign languages, like Spanish is similar to French. They all come from like
Spanish, Portuguese.
Yeah, they're all kind of similar. I forget where the root came from, but long story short of it is that what you just explained was the same theory that DJ Envy explained to us when he says that he doesn't buy any liability until he has an asset to pay for it. His thing is real estate. So he buys a home, and now he has a home to actually pay rental for his Lamborghini or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like
you just breaking it down on a small level.
Right.
But
I mean, that's key though, right? If you break it at a small level, like
and then also what people have to understand too is that people might say, okay, well, I got to put $2,000 into a stock to get $100 dividend. It's not worth it. But the thing about it is that it's not like you're paying for something, you're investing. So that $2,000 is going to grow over the course of time while you're getting your dividend. So it's not like you just putting your money into Never Ever Land. It's actually going to an investment that'll probably gain value over the course of time. But in the meantime, you're actually gaining income that you can use via the dividend. And now you can actually use that to support your lifestyle. Because like you said, you got to find a way to actually make money while you're sleeping. That's what Warren Buffett said, right? He said, if you don't make money while you're sleeping, you work till you die.
Yeah.
So by doing that, now you're actually, okay, now I can, like you said, you can focus on, okay, now I did that. Now I got to do something to pay my rent. I got to do something to pay my mortgage. And I got to do something to pay my car bill. And then before you know it, you're not actually paying anything yourself. It's all being paid for you, which leaves you more money because that $200 now you can actually reinvest and do other things, and just kind of like a domino effect.
It's like Lord of the Slum said. He was like, yo, I treat money like little soap.
Do y'all hear that? So while y'all out there looking fly and flashy, buying the latest Gucci belt and stuff like that, you need to be buying into those companies and watching that stock grow, which is going to grow your money. But instead, you out there buying those liabilities. And me, like I said, I've been there. Like I said, 20s, I've been the typical 20-year-old, but my mentality is different now. I understand money a lot better, and I understand what it can do for me. And the stock market is real. I hate that I didn't get involved in it back in my 20s because I know where I would be now. But yeah, it's powerful, man. And the thought of making money while you sleep is happening. I look at it. I check my dividends every month. I got quarterly and monthly paying dividends. And it's just a beautiful thing watching those grow each month from each stock that I'm invested in, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So this mess is going to be the truth. So don't say I didn't tell you. To the people, my people that I've shown recently, love you. Glad you took heed to it, and keep going. So
soldiers, they have to go work.
Listen, but also, you forgetting something that's major: the ownership.
Yep.
You feel me? So while your money is working for you through the dividends, your ownership, your equity is also increasing.
Yeah.
So that's how you leverage the game with that.
Yeah. And that's something that people don't understand either. It's like people's like, well, everybody's not an entrepreneur. I don't want to own a business. There's a lot that comes with owning a business, but there's more than one way to own a business. If you buy stock, you're an owner in that company.
Yeah.
That's probably the easiest way to own a business. Now, you're not going to be a majority owner, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
You're still an owner.
1% of something is better than 0%.
But listen, so Warren Buffett owns 6% of Coca-Cola, right? So he's still not a majority owner, but he still has say-so. And this is the one thing about the stock market that I love. I still can vote on every business that I own, and they have to acknowledge me. Like, I literally bought 3 shares of Berkshire Hathaway B. Let's make sure I say that B.
What's the A? Like 100 something thousand?
Nah, go up 200. It's 300 and something thousand.
Please,
right?
There's a difference.
There's a big difference. So let me say, because I don't want nobody to be like, hey, man, you ain't got no.
Man, I heard that.
You feel me? So I literally bought 3 shares of Berkshire B.
Which is Warren Buffett's company, for anybody who doesn't know.
I bought my daughter. That's another thing. So at 3 years old, my daughter has $5,000 invested in the stock market.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about that. You
Yeah,
finish
cool.
it. I'm gonna ask you about that.
But I bought 3 shares of Berkshire B so I could go to the Warren Buffett annual meeting, and I had right to vote on anything.
In Omaha?
Yeah.
Did you go?
I went to NIPS. That's when everything
Okay.
happened. I'm going next year.
Okay.
For sure. And the only way you can go is if you own at least 1 share. Right? So I was like, okay, cool. And you actually get to talk to this man.
Do y'all hear that? That's real talk. When you purchase stock, you own a share or a piece of that business. Yeah, you're not the majority owner. But yeah, I have personally listened in over phone conversations because I am a shareholder. They send me emails when I need to vote on something, and I've even listened to a stock I have invested over in the electric vehicle sector. NEO, a company that's up and rising, like kind of doing numbers like right behind Tesla. I've listened in on an international call about what's happening in the company. So you do get invited to this stuff. You do get to listen in and vote on stuff. So it's legit. You're a straight up owner. And again, the good thing about the stock market is nowadays you can buy fractional shares and that counts. So it ain't no excuse why you out here blowing and throwing your money to dumb stuff. Like they said, buying more liabilities, you need to be flipping that and buying assets, something that's going to take care of you and your future. So that's where my mentality is at nowadays. So I hope y'all get on it. And like I said, I'm an open book. Anything I know, I'm willing to teach anybody. And like I said, the people that's in this video, the one in the middle, that's Wall Street Trapper. He's got a heck of a story. His humble beginnings, as we say, and I'm sure the other 2 brothers, they're called Earn Your Leisure, and they doing powerful things, and they are making some tremendous noise out here trying to educate any and everyone but our people, because like I said, we grew up only learning about working hard and putting your money in the bank. But with the way things are going in society, there may not be Social Security and inflation and stuff. So your money in the bank, it is losing its power every day, every week, every year. So you better get smart about it. You better learn about it. I'm gonna say, if I can do it, you definitely can do it. So stop holding up. Time is ticking, seriously. So but hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Hopefully it brought a little insight to any questions you may have. Definitely drop me a comment below. And again, this is Yella. This is Organically Speaking. And I'll leave a link to these brothers' information in the description. But other than that, peace.